Welcome to Days at Dogwood Canyon, a nature podcast brought to you by Dogwood Canyon Audubon Center in Cedar Hill, Texas. This is a podcast that will take you into our 200-acre wildlife preserve in the heart of the DFW Metroplex. Take a quick weekly break with us and get outside with the fresh air, the trees, and of course, the birds. My name is Kiersten and I'm Center Coordinator Community Programs here at Dogwood Canyon Audubon Center. Welcome listeners to our Days at Dogwood Canyon podcast. This is a podcast about nature, birds, plants, and us. We will talk about how we all rely on each other to live our best lives. The spooky season is upon us as this podcast is being recorded in October. Halloween is just around the corner, so I thought I'd talk about one of our resident birds that people commonly think about this time of year: owls. Specifically, we'll be talking about the Eastern Screech-Owl, Megascops osceo. This small owl is common in eastern North America from Montana and the Great Lakes region down to the Gulf Coast and into Tamaulipas, Mexico. It is also found from South Ontario, Canada to the tip of Florida and in every state in between. In Texas, you can find them all across the state with the exception of the very western sliver of the Panhandle and all along the New Mexico border. They prefer living in mixed woodland habitats, deciduous forests, parklands, wooded urban areas, riparian woods near streams and wetlands, mature orchards, meadows, and fields near wooded areas. You may notice a pattern here. They need trees in their habitat. The Eastern Screech-Owl is a small bird at 7 to 10 inches and weighing about 6 ounces. Their entire body is covered in mottled feathers, and they come in 2 color phases, gray and red. They usually have a row of white spots on the shoulders and heavily streaked underparts. This helps them look like the bark of a tree. The facial disc is lightly mottled with a prominent dark rim. They have small ear tufts, which are the feathers that stick up on the sides of the head and don't really have anything to do with ears. Their eyes are yellow in both color morphs, while their beak can be either yellow or gray or a combination of both. Sexes are similar. Females will be slightly larger than males. The 2 color phases can and do mate with each other. We don't know why the 2 colors are present in both the eastern and western screech owl. It just appears to be colors that have worked out for them over the many, many years, and now they hold the genetics for both phases. These birds are meat eaters and will enjoy mice, small rats, chipmunks, small squirrels, shrews, small bats on occasion, and moles. They search for prey while in flight at night. These owls are strict nocturnals. They're only flying in the daytime if they're disturbed from their daytime roost for some reason. During the breeding season, a couple remains together in a monogamous relationship to raise 2 to 8 chicks, and if all goes well, they may mate for life. Screech owls typically only have 1 clutch a year. They lay their eggs and raise the nestlings in a cavity nest, meaning that they are completely enclosed in a structure. And there'll only be that little hole they can kind of look out. They don't make their own nest. Instead, they seek out natural holes in dead or dying trees, which is why it's so important that we leave those snags up when we can. And they will use old woodpecker nests. Why not? They already made a big cavity nest for you, so why not just slip in when the woodpecker isn't using it? Incubation takes about 26 days and is done mainly by the female while the male goes grocery shopping. Now, since these are small birds that live in wooded areas and are colored to blend in perfectly with the bark of a tree, how do you know one is nearby? You listen for this. Not exactly what you expected, was it? Screech owls don't really make that typical hooting noise that we associate with owls. Their calls are referred to as whinnies or trills, and they use them for different purposes. One trill will be used for keeping in contact with family members, while other trills will be used to defend territories. This is another call that the Eastern Screech-Owl makes as well. The Eastern Screech-Owl was first described by Carol Linnaeus in 1758. Since then, they have gone by many names, including the common screech owl, ghost owl, dusk owl, little-eared owl, spirit owl, wickering owl, little gray owl, mottled owl, mouse owl, cat owl, shivering owl, and little horned owl. Now you see why we use scientific names to make sure we are all talking about the same animal. Where can you find the Eastern Screech-Owl at Dogwood Canyon Audubon Center? Last year, we were delighted to discover that we have them all over the preserve. Our audio recording devices that we use to monitor for the golden cheek warbler picked up several different Eastern Screech-Owl calls. Now, this is still a difficult question to answer since you won't see them during the day and you most likely won't hear them during the day. But we do host a few evening events and you could catch them at that time. You're more likely to hear them than see them. As we've already said, they're very small and they are colored to look like bark. You will hear them most often calling during the warmer months of the year as they are attracting mates, connecting with family members, and defending territories. They're generally quiet in the fall and winter periods. Next time we host an owl prowl or other evening event, I hope to see you at Dogwood Canyon Audubon Center looking and listening for the Eastern Screech-Owl. Audio provided by Lang Elliott, Music of Nature.